18 hours so Galente Holler 5. Yeah. Very good. Very good. My screen is black. Display capture. Oh, there we go. There we go. Video capture. Fucking headphones. Disable Players Lounge. Also in the channel. Disable Players Lounge. Yep. I am in Izanaka. Boosters good for another 2 days. We're done with the... oh, yeah. Semiotic sports. Okay, good. And unduck.
Autopilot engaged. Autopilot disabled. No waypoint set.
Well, I'm not really going to GNet now, or am I? Well, let's see where that is. Yep.
Autopilot engaged. Warping to Stargate. Warp drive active. Approaching Stargate. Autopilot jumping.
Oh, yeah. Look at all that. Oh, yeah. Look at all that money. Fuck yes. Maybe I can buy, maybe I can buy, back and waist now. And earrings. Maybe earrings. I'll definitely buy Dodge earrings. Go spend some money. 410K and I'm not even trying. How's my money? Money's good. Yeah.
Approaching Stargate. Autopilot jumping. Warp drive active. Autopilot jumping. Warping to Stargate. Warp drive active.
Oh my god.
Approaching Stargate. Autopilot jumping. Warping to Stargate. Warp drive active. Approaching Stargate. Autopilot jumping. Warping to Stargate. Warp drive active. Approaching Stargate. Autopilot jumping.
Your inventory is full.
Warping to Stargate. Warp drive active. Approaching Stargate.
Oh. You know what I would rather spend my money on? Well, let's go buy the 3 pieces I don't have. Earrings and a back.
Autopilot jumping.
Boy, I'd like good Dex rings. That would be nice. Might see what they cost.
Stargate. Warp drive active.
These won't sell. Let's go look at what the rings will cost.
Approaching Stargate.
Sniper's rings are 110. There's no way. I'll definitely take it for 110. Oh, yeah?
Autopilot jumping.
Shit, yeah, I'll take it for 110, yeah. I want to see what battle gloves will do. I don't think Thief gets battle gloves, though.
Warping to
If it does it, I
Stargate.
don't know.
Warp drive active.
Oops.
Approaching Stargate.
That's actually pretty good, the Crow Bracers. 20,000, but let's go see if I can get a pair of battle gloves first.
Autopilot jumping.
Or, I mean, what are battle gloves? They're 14.
Warping to station. Warp drive active.
What are battle gloves? I can't remember. They're like 20 something. What? Seems like battle gloves are gone. What?
Approaching station.
14. They took those out? Oh, no, they didn't. They're there. There we go. 20,000, not bad.
Docking permission requested.
Nice.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted. Autopilot
Okay,
disabled.
then
Waypoint reached.
need it back. Probably evasion. Oops, I don't know if that's correct. I don't think it is. It's not. Okay, waypoint reached. Good. Let's see what's in the healer. Nothing. Make active. And oh, I lost drones and I forgot. Son of a bitch. I have to go fix that. So annoying. Alright, well, go out in that. Oh, no. Go out in that. There's really no reason to risk it. No risk it for the biscuit thing. Okay, so I would like to go to Jita and buy I mean, really, at this point, I might as well just go over there because I won't be able to fit these. I don't think. I mean, I get. No, I will. I'll be able to fit these, but I definitely shouldn't bring this. So. Okay, so goodbye. Undock locations. Damn it, that one stupid one killed my drones.
Autopilot engaged.
And that cost me money.
Warping to Stargate. Warp drive active.
Raptor Mantle, Jaguar Mantle, Batcape. Batcape's 20k. Take that. Well, I mean, Batcape doesn't really help me though. I'm looking for anything with attack, anything attack or there. Like that seems good. Can we get that? Yeah, let's get that. Attack's good. It's a good placeholder. That's fine. Yep. Then earrings. Are we getting that right? No. Did you go? No. Oh, yes, you did.
Approaching Stargate.
Okay, at the top of the list we have ranged, evasion, MP, def, dex, agile mind, evasion,
Autopilot jumping.
tortoise earring. I could do that, tortoise earring. But really, I think the best steering is the evasion dodge
Warping
one.
to Stargate. Warp drive active.
The evasion earrings, they're not for sale. Uh-oh. They're, no dodge earrings for sale, so let's go higher. Yeah, like up here.
Approaching Stargate.
Velocity earring for 20k. That's cheap. Harvest earring 30k. And there's all my money. It's all
Autopilot
a
jumping.
crappy hodgepodge, but they're hodgepodge, but they're all placeholders anyway. There's my full set. There's my full levels. Can keep going. Oh, you know, this hat kind of annoys me, and I want to see what they charge
Drive
for
active.
an Emperor's headpiece. This is not sorted. Like, honestly, that's still better than the
Approaching
Raptor helm.
station.
No, it's not. That would be better than a Raptor helm. There, oh, I can't wear it though. That wouldn't be bad. 10,000.
Docking permission requested. Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted. Autopilot disabled. Waypoint.
1 million for the Emperor hairpin. Jesus. Well, I guess the Raptor is good enough for now, but yeah, I mean, that Crow Beret is better. Yeah, that's still better. Still better than what I'm wearing. Why do I have a shade tiara? Oh, god damn it. Oh, well. I'm gonna sell, like, all this
Your
other...
inventory is full.
Yeah, I'm aware. How much do you sell these for? These will sell, I think. No, nobody will ever buy these. Yeah, I guess I'll sell all that stuff. Yeah,
Your
I can't.
inventory is full.
Can't sell that, but I can't, and I can't sell that either. So, and I don't know what a Serrano's bulb is. Did I make it? Yes. So now, oh, I have to go. Oh no.
Your inventory is full.
All right, I'm going. Hacker stole 100 mil. Ugh. Where are they hiding this fucking money? Where are they hiding this money?
Your inventory is full.
Fucking criminals. I can't believe hackers got synonymous with crime. It's fucking so stupid. Fucking idiots. I'm an idiot and I've got 16 monitors and I deal with NFTs and fucking Bitcoin every day and I've got 7 GPUs that I bought with my ill-gotten Chomo like NFT money and I sit in my room all day like some kind of Batman and I watch the world and I watch the Bitcoins and I watch the money and I act like Gordon Gekko but without what is it, you know, from Wall Street, right? I act like Gordon Gekko from Wall Street, but you know, but I'm just some shitty nerd with 18 fucking monitors and a dream. And I never leave the house, and I don't have any family, and I'm a doomer, and I dislike everybody, and I only look at Bitcoins, and I wheel and deal with criminals and all this shit. And I'm sorry, but somebody should make fun of you. Somebody should make fun of you. I have so much less esteem for you than me, a meth dealer, you know? I have so much less esteem for you than a meth dealer. You know, meth dealer is a lot better than what you guys do. You guys are really not too good. It's funny to hear reality, you know? It's something you haven't heard in several years. I guarantee it. Most of these people haven't heard reality in a long, long time. Them in reality, they don't fuck with each other. You know? They don't fuck with each other too often. They're off on some fucking theoretical Bitcoin, some theoretical value, theoretical Bitcoin farming, theoretical NFTs, theoretical trade, theoretical value. It's really not too good. Let's see how long you have that money before you blow it all away on 10 monitor screens and 5 computers, and you're farming Bitcoin all day and you're torching graphics cards at $2,000 a pop, and you have your fucking Uber Eats lifestyle, and I'm sorry, I'm not really down. Caliber ring needs to be recharged. Maybe all my rings need to be recharged, actually. Yeah, we're just going to combine all that and dump all this in there. The stuff that I'm stacking, I'll put in here. Oh, right, I have to buy drones. Yeah. Augmented. Vespas. Oh, you know, did I one of the things I was doing was looking at my not my personal assets, but my wallet. Yeah, my wallet. And I'm looking for transactions over the last 30 days, yeah. So, Hypernode transactions on 8:30, but nothing. Oh yeah, someone took my 100 million contract, which is why I have a little bit more money than I started. But what I don't have is this. Okay, so I don't know. Wait, let's go look in drones. No. No, so these augmented Vespas that I like, we're going to do some conjecture. I used too many of these, so right now we're going to buy... Excuse me. See, this isn't too good of a deal. It's... People are paying about $29 for these, which is cheaper, but it's not that much cheaper. What are my current contracts? I'm gonna blow my nose. I'm sorry. I'll be right back. Yeah. My God, that's expensive. 70 million. Well, I would not mind a price of 17 million. I would buy 100 of them. No. 100 quantity of 17 million. At 50% less, I will buy... Oh, that will cost 1.7 billion ISK. Well, yeah, this guy... Yeah, I mean, I can't... I guess I can't do 100. I guess I'll do 10. Yeah, which is 174 million. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely... It definitely won't get 17, but I could get... I would say 28. What is 28 going to cost me? I can't afford these. I'll have to buy them 2 at a time. It's unfortunate. Well, yeah, that's untenable. Oh well. Oh, really? Oh, no, wait.
Autopilot engaged. Warping to Stargate. Warp drive active. Approaching Stargate. Autopilot jumping. Warping to Stargate. Warp drive active. Approaching Stargate. Autopilot jumping. Warping to station. Warp drive active. Approaching station. Docking permission requested. Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted. Autopilot disabled. Waypoint reached. Warp drive active.
What's up, Hopkins? Happy Labor Day. No school today, huh? It's good. About to go see my family here in the next few minutes. I was only on for like an hour, but until I get the phone call, I'm good. Do some EVE Online and some FFXI.
Warp
Yeah.
drive active.
Ah, you work today, huh? Time and a half. Oh, yeah. Get that money. I bet it was busy. Oops. Shit. Right on. Yeah, but that's okay. No. The managers make more than you, Hop. The managers are on salary. They might get tips if they wait tables and stuff, but they're on salary. They make like 50 or more grand a year. You're making like 18 if you work all year. 18 to 24, maybe 30 if you're like a waitress, right? But no, the managers make the real money, man. The managers always make the real money. They want to bitch about it because they think you're young and you're naive and stuff. But no, the managers make the real money. You guys work for tips and minimum wage, basically. Yeah, right? You're working part-time a few days a week for minimum wage. You'd be surprised how humans will lie to you like this and try to create some image in your mind about how you have the superior position, you know, but no, they have the superior position. They're the gods and managers. They have the money. They can try and lie to you about it, but yeah, or try to joke with you about it. But in the end, they go home to a nice $50,000 life. You go home and buy a video game with what you have left of your money after you eat. You know, there's a big difference. Oh shit! The mobile tractor. Get it out. Launch for self. Orbits. There we are.
A module has run out of charge.
Sentis Mutant Lord. Kill him. Sentis Mutant Lord. Bleh. Yep. And Hop, a smart person will say, once you graduate, figure out what you want to do that you love, right? And how I look at it, let me kill the music because the music's not too good in here. I'm sorry, and then also the master's a bit loud too. There we go. So when you're 18 and you get out of high school, a lot of people are going to be like, go get a career that you like and get yourself a husband or a wife and kids and a house and all this stuff. And they're not really wrong. The best way to live in America, I'd say, is the middle class and stuff. But my suggestion to you as a personal friend who's older, who would give you some wisdom and stuff, is figure out what you love to do the most, even if it's like video games. It doesn't matter what it is. For me, it was video games. Like, but for you, it might be something else. Like I think you said nutritionist or you know, physical therapist or something like that, right? So if that's what you do to love, if that's what you think you might really love, do like. There's a difference between doing a job that pays well all your life and doing a job that you love. And so you should look for you should look for a job that, like, you should think about what would be the most fun to do in the world. For you, figure out what you like to do most in the world and try to get a job around that, because if you don't, you'll be unhappy. And so yeah, you can get a better job when you're out of high school and you graduate. That is true, but my suggestion is to take a job doing what it is you love. Like, for instance, my friend Jay, he started as a barista, right? And he's a good barista. And he's still, I don't think he's a barista still, but for like 12 years he was a barista, and he's good at coffee. He's like a coffee genius, you know? But what he ended up doing permanently was, right, and this is very funny, and it pays more too. He's a he's a part-time river raft trainer. So he trains people to run river rafting up in the Colorado mountains in the summers, and in the winter he grows marijuana, and he's a barista in Denver. And he loves all three of those things passionately, and he's one of the happiest people that I know. And so yeah, you can get a better job when you're 18. This is true, but my suggestion to you is to go do what you love. Like take even an internship or something, doing what it is that you love, and you'll be a lot happier. People are gonna, when you get right out of college, the people are gonna notice that you're young and you're strong and you got a good brain, and they're gonna offer you jobs, right? Take the jobs, but you should always be leaning towards the one that seems like you'll be the happiest, right? Doing the thing that you love. And a lot of people, like your parents and stuff, will be like, no, take a job being a doctor or a lawyer or a program coder or something like that, right? It pays well. You'll be able to have a wife or a husband or whatever the fuck. You can pay for your significant others and children and all this. They're going to advise you to go get like a job that pays the bills, and they're right about that. But the difference is you need to find some combination between what you love and what you have to do, right? And so I hear your attitude. You say, I hear what you say, which is, I can get a better job when I'm 18. And I hear that, and I believe it. But what I want to hear is, I'm going to get a job doing something I really love to do that pays well, right? Definitely get a better job when you're 18, but definitely make sure it's something that you love to do. If you work jobs that make you unhappy, you will have a bad life. And that's all. That's all the old guy preaching, you know. But definitely do something that you love. And your parents will argue with you. Your friends will argue with you. Everybody will argue with you. But trust me, overall, like life happiness is about doing something that you can stand to do and still make money, as compared to something that pays well that you don't like doing. It's better to do something that you can stand to do, that makes you happy, that pays less, than it is to take a job that pays better, right? And if you do take a job that pays better, do it to pay for college. Don't sit there working like a Jordan Belfort, day trading job or something like that, where you're unhappy because you fuck people over all the time. You should do jobs that make you happy, is all I'm getting at. A lot of people are quitting their jobs, Hop, which is why I say this. Gen Z and millennials and Zoomers are all quitting their jobs in droves because they're beginning to understand what I'm saying in a very, very fundamental way. This is the doomer generations and stuff that they feel like there's not enough money to go around and there wasn't enough support and there wasn't like the boomers all own everything and my parents' generation owns everything and they own the banks and they own the mortgages and the credit and all this stuff and they own the colleges and they're charging too much, right? So we know that Gen Z and millennials and even some of the Zoomers like your age and shit who are working like kind of 18-year-old, they're 18 years old but they're working in high-end jobs already. They're all quitting their jobs and trying to do something that makes them happy. And this is my advice to you as well. Do something that makes you happy. Don't do something that pays better. Otherwise, you're just going to end up quitting like them. Don't do jobs don't do jobs for money. Do jobs for passion.
Gen Z and millennials are leading the big quit.
They call this the big quit, right? All these people for 20 years, they were doing jobs that paid well but made them unhappy. And then they lost their marriages, they lost their kids, they're drunk or they're on pills. They're unhappy. They lose their jobs in the end. That's the worst part. They lose the job that they fought so hard for in the end too, because they end up quitting it, you know, and all this stuff. And they're really unhappy people because they're doing all this for other people, like their families and their friends and their kids and stuff. But when they all realize that being unhappy all the time is such a crippling thing that they can't even go to work anymore, they just end up quitting the job. The new generations, like your people your guys' age, they're beginning to understand that, yeah, you can take a better paying job, but if you aren't doing what you love, you're probably going to fail out anyways. So, and that's my advice to you. Be aware of it. This is something that's happening.
2023.
So there was the Great Resignation. Now there's the Big Quit.
Yeah,
who's coming up with these? Ken?
Well, it's headline writers.
It's an entire generation realizing that they're getting the shaft. Right? They're getting it's like the B movie where they pick their jobs. Yeah. So my job, Hop, as silly as it was, I didn't know what my job was when I started. Like I started this, I thought I was gonna do I thought I was gonna do some Final Fantasy 11 every afternoon and get like a core of like 10 people, and that's about what it's been. I mean, what somebody with my personality foibles can do in a job like this, but I do know that, hold on just a second. There we go. Orbit. Yep. I do know that being unhappy, you won't have the job for very long, and you'll use all the money to get by, with alcohol or cigarettes or something like that to deal with the stress that you have to deal with at the job and all this. And you come home to a stressed out significant other who's stressed out because you're stressed out, right? Everything is borrowed when you're in the struggle and you're trying to dig your way out of the lower and the middle class, right? Your parents might let you have a house, but it's still their house. You might have a car, but you got to pay payments on it. Everything is borrowed. And so, people your age, they're waking up and they're realizing that the way that the boomers and the way that my generation ran the world is every bit of fraud. And if I had to complain about my own generation, it's an old quote from the band The Who. And it says, meet the new boss, same as the old boss. And that's what's wrong with my generation. We knew better. After seeing the baby boomers and then the Gen X, and I'm the oldest of the young millennials, I watched the baby boomers after the war spend with careless abandon all of our money and buy these yippee lives with middle class lifestyles and nice cars and money and all this, right? And I watched my parents' generation do this, and then I watched Gen X get jealous of it and then copy them, and then I watched my generation get jealous of it and copy them, and I'm sure that's what's going to happen with the millennials are unhappy with it, and we're more unhappy with it than anybody's ever been. This lie that the rat race is something to look up to or to venerate or go chase. race. Sure, the rat race will make sure that your family eats, but if you're unhappy, you won't get very far. And that's the lesson I'm trying to tell you. If you take a job that pays more, going out of college, that's the smart thing to do that your parents are telling you to do. Got to pay for college, got to pay for rent, got to pay for it somehow. Can't be selling drugs or gang banging on the corner like our thug friends. Got to be doing this legit. And the problem with legit is it costs too much, and everybody stole all the money already. So my advice to you is don't quit your job. Take a job that you knew you were going to be able to stand in the first place, right? Their problem is they built like 10-year careers. Millennials and Gen Z, they built 10-year careers, usually in their 20s, from the age of 20 and 30, in places where they ended up quitting their jobs anyways because they were so unhappy that they couldn't continue any longer. And so rather than fall in that same trap, right? Do a job first that'll give you skills that you really plan to use towards something you love. And so if you like being a fit person, if you like being a nutritionist or whatever, that's a good dream, right? But my suggestion to you, if that is the case, is to work in a health food store or a health store or like a GNC or something like that. Learn what it's like firsthand to deal with people who are worried about nutrition and body values and stuff. Chase whatever your dream is. Don't be doing jobs because they pay better.
People on social.
And this is true now, Hop. It's true even today. You'd be surprised. Like for instance, I worked at a game store and for 2 years when I was a teenager, your age, from the age of 16 till I was 18, and all of my friends they were so jealous of me. All of them would come there and they'd be like, "Oh my God, I'm so jealous that you work at GameStop. I can't believe you get a 20% discount. You could just rent games for 3 days and just bring them back. You don't have to buy them." And I was like, "Yeah, I don't have to buy games. I just rent games for 3 days and just bring them back to the store. Make sure I don't scratch the disc, and then we just sell it used." And it was an amazing job, but I had to apply to every game store in the city. There was like 17 of them. I had to take a bus to every game store in the city and physically hand in an application. And I got turned down at all 17 because there's other more desperate people who had offered cash money if somebody had taken their application. Because it was a job that everybody wanted so badly. Because I knew I could be happy there, So, and I was happy there, immensely happy there. And how I ended up getting in is my best friend wanted the same thing, but he had got in before we all knew that the game jobs were so lucrative. And so my best friend got a job at the GameStop just because he's got a better personality than me. He's got a better charisma. He doesn't have the same record as I do and all this. And so that I subsequently begged and harassed and cajoled him for like 4 months. Get me a job at GameStop. Get me a job at GameStop. Get me a job at GameStop. One day he shows up with an application and he's like, "Well, I got you a job at GameStop." And I was like, "Really?" And he was like, "Yeah, come work at GameStop." And I was like, "I love you, man. Thank you." And it was the greatest thing in my life. It really was. For like 2 years, I worked at GameStop, and it ended badly, and I did something bad with that. But it still doesn't matter. Like, I was very, very happy, and I was doing a job that I loved, and I was the happiest teenager that you'll ever meet. And this is the lesson that I'm trying to get across, right? Doesn't matter. You better start now, even at the age of 15 or 16 or 17, 18, 24, 28, 32, 36, 40. At those ages, you definitely need to be doing work that you love, not work that you have to do for money. Otherwise, you're going to quit the job, piss everybody off. You'll have a bad record, bad resume, trust me. And that's all. That's everything I had to say.
Do I get to come up with one at this point? I feel like it's my turn.
You know what? Why not?
Might
Join
as
the
well.
party. Every day is now a thing. It's a day. National Chip Day, National Best Friend Day, National Small Dog Day. It never ends. It's just enough. It's too much. I went on my Instagram.
Be right back. I got to
account
get
back
something
in
to
home,
drink. I won't be long.
And I just looked at the camera and said, "Look, if I hear quiet quitting one more time, I'm going to go headbutt an 18-wheeler." I can't do it anymore.
It was like during COVID. It was unprecedented.
Oh, yeah.
Remember, you got to pivot.
Yeah. All right. Boy, you really do pay attention to everything Dave says.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, those are Dave's lines. You stole those.
There's no stealing here. We're all family.
Oh,
It's like
okay.
the Olive Garden, Ken.
All right, so now why are we talking about this headline? This is a CNBC article that I'm pulling from because this affects you all. Some of you are in this mindset. More than half of U.S. workers, the number is actually 61%, are considering leaving their jobs in 2023. This is from a new LinkedIn study. Now, it was interesting, George, that the higher percentage or the highest percentage of Gen Z workers are planning to call it quits. So of all of the generations, Gen Z, millennials, Gen X, and boomers, it was Gen Z planning to call it quits. Now, the millennials got beat up a lot, your generation, about switching jobs on a regular basis. Many millennials, this data is probably about 8 years old, but at that time, millennials were thinking, I'm going to stay about a year on the job and then move on. But this is what's interesting. Gen Zers, according to Karen Kimbrough, the chief economist at LinkedIn, they're more passionate about finding a job that aligns with their personal values. And they're confident that switching jobs will help them get there. So the main reasons that Gen Zers and millennials are considering switching jobs hasn't changed, with higher comp, improved work-life balance, opportunities for career growth, and flexible work arrangements all ranking as top priorities. So again, nothing new here. You could say the same about millennials. What is different is that there is a sizable shift from the older Gen Xers and the boomers to the millennials and the Gen Zers. And it is, you know what?
You know, it's funny. I have a story about this. I was working. I have a story about this. I was working at 7-Eleven when I was like 22 for about 2 years, and I was really unhappy there. And it wasn't just that it was a lot of work. It was also like that it wasn't a very good job. It wasn't very fun. You know, it was kind of stressy, and it was an okay job, but it wasn't too fun, and I didn't know why. I didn't know why I was so unhappy working for 7-Eleven, because the money wasn't good, but it was steady, and you know the food was good, and you know it was just fine. It was an okay job to get by for a couple of years while I pay rent. And while I was working there, I consistently got more and more and more unhappy every day over like a 2-year period. And by the end of it, my bosses, the people who worked there, they were like, "You are fucking miserable at this job, and you are not a miserable person." And I was like, "Yeah, I really don't like this job." And they're like, "You're strung out, and you're high, and you're high pressure, and you're stressed out." And they're like, "This job is killing you. You need to quit this job." And I was like, "Yeah, but why? I don't think the job is bad. I'm happy here. It's a good job and all this." And they're like, "Something about this job really bothers you, but you don't know what it is." And I thought about that for a couple of days. You know, people come and talk to you when you're selling coffee in the morning or that kind of thing, and they talk to you about your job, and they talk to you about their jobs, and it's kind of like a water cooler thing, right? And so I'm talking to these fucking people, and I begin to realize they're right, but I don't know why. And I'm thinking, and I'm thinking, and I'm thinking, and I'm thinking. And I'm like, what is it about going to 7-Eleven every day that bothers me so much? And I began to realize what it was. At about 3:10 in the morning or something, 2:10 in the morning, something like that, you throw away about 100 pounds of food. It's all the hot dogs, all of the rollers, all of the chicken, all of the chicken barbecue bites or whatever, the fucking taquitos and all that shit, right? Disgusting stuff that they leave on the roller all day and all that, right? The roller itself is disgusting because it's covered in hot dog grease, and that's just disgusting. That's trichinosis and all these other things that cause like terrible health pandemics like COVID and novel viruses like COVID and stuff, right? So it's just disgusting to deal with the hot dog roller anyways. And then on top of it, it's like at the end of the day, you get this bag. I'm talking like a fucking grocery bag, and you open the motherfucker and you dump like 100 pounds of food in there. And I noticed that the bums would come in, and if you give them food, you get fired, because if they eat the food and they get sick and they die because the meat is spoiled, or really what 7-Eleven is scared about more is the idea of the public figuring out how really disgusting those hot dog rollers are. So they're just not really inclined to let the public have the food for free afterwards, because that's an insurance violation. If somebody gets sick off that old meat that was on the roller, somebody sues then the bum sues 7-Eleven for getting them sick, just for giving them food that made them sick, poisoning them. So it's against the rules, and you will get fired if you give that food away. And every day I was giving that food away because there were starving people. It would come to the 7-Eleven every day. And by 2 or 3 in the morning, because I work night shifts, I was very unhappy. And in the last 4 hours of my shift were, you know, very stressful for me. I had to do the McLean's order, which is like all of the stuff that they stock the aisles with, right? And then I had to do like the cigarettes, which are just, it's just a logistical nightmare, counting all the cigarettes, make sure the other people aren't stealing and stuff, and counting all the alcohol, and counting all the everything, and counting the drawer, counting the money, all that stuff. It's a stressful job, right? And so at the end of it, you go home and you're like, what about this job really, really bothered me? And I began to finally realize what it was. Throwing away 100 pounds of food every night while people starve in the fucking streets around me was something that was making me so unhappy physically and mentally and spiritually and emotionally that I called my boss up one day right after a shift. I got home, I got high on meth because I was so stressed out and unhappy about the situation. And it's not like it had anything to do with me or it affected me. It was more about the situation of it. I couldn't by rights throw away 100 pounds of good food that people had just been spending good money for every night. I just couldn't do it. After 7 days, I was like, Jesus Christ, I have thrown away like 700 pounds of food. And by the end of the month, you're like, oh my God, I've thrown away like, you know, 3,000 pounds or whatever it is. Like 3,000 pounds of food. And by the end of the year, you're like, oh my God, I could have fed Africa with the food that this single 7-Eleven throws away every day. And so I called my boss up and I was like, look, I'm sorry. I like this job. I've been here 2 years, but I love you guys and I know you love me, but I'm going to quit this job. I can't do this job anymore. And he was like, really? Why? You're a good worker. We like you. We want you to stay. You're a good night man. What's going on? And I was like, every day at about 2:30 in the morning, I have to throw away about 100 pounds of food while all the starving people gather around and watch me throw the food away. And he was like, yeah, I do that too. And I was like, yeah, I can't handle that morally or physically. It's killing me. And he was like, really? You're quitting your job because you throw food away at night? And I was like, yes, I'm throwing my job away because I throw 100 pounds of food away every night. And like morally, I basically can't think of almost anything worse except murder and rape. I can't think of anything morally worse than murder or rape than throwing 100 pounds of food away every day rather than giving it to the bums. And then and then on top of it, when I told them, well, and so normally I would just break the rules and give the food to the bums, but you'll fire me for that, won't you? And he said, yes, they're very clear about insurance. If you give the food to the bums, we will fire you because they will get sick and they could potentially die, and that will be our fault. And he was like, yes, you cannot give the bums food, and I don't like that rule either, but you've got to abide it, or we will fire you. And I was like, yeah, I'm sorry, that is morally too much of a, you know, that's morally too much of a thing for me. I'm working on East Colfax across from the tenement projects. I can show you the 7-Eleven that I fucking worked at. Why won't you approach this ship? I've told you so many times to approach this ship. Please approach this ship. Are you approaching the ship yet? Approach the fucking ship. I've told you like 5 times. Approach the fucking ship. I've all tabbed back like 5 times. Approach the fucking ship. God damn it. So anyways, so I worked at the 7-Eleven at Colfax and Wolf in Denver. Yep, and there it is, and so if you look at the map here, you're gonna see that this is the West Side Denver. It's where the Latino the Latino community lives, and the Black community, and it is the I would say the affluent side of Denver, because on the east side you have East Colfax, which is way over here, and notice all down Colfax, right, there is lots and lots of 7-Elevens, and I've worked at a lot of these 7-Elevens because they shuffle you around as a cashier. They're like, you're going to Colfax and Wolf today. You're going to Colfax and Mariposa today. You're going to Colfax and fucking whatever, Franklin today. And so you go to these different 7-Elevens. You do your job there. Sometimes, but mostly you work at the 7-Eleven that you mainly work at. For me, that was the one at Colfax and Wolf, which is down here on the west side. I can't, Google is entirely incompetent now, so I can't see addresses on things. If you can see it there. Oh, never mind. I'm sorry. Yeah, but still though. There we go. And so yeah, so then there we go. And yeah, there's my shit. There's my job right there. That's it. Oh no, I'm sorry. Hold on. damn it. Yeah, you just orbit that, I guess. Yeah, just orbit that. That's fine. So I'm looking at the wrong 7-Eleven. The one I worked at is by the lake. There it is. That's the Colfax and Wolf 7-Eleven. Oh wait, yeah, and you can see the people right there is a perfect photo of it. See, there's kids and they're starving people, and there's homeless outside on Colfax and Wolf. And I don't have the Google Maps, or I would tilt the image to the left, right? But across the street from this 7-Eleven that I worked at for 2 years is a tenement project. And then as you can see, these are the people going in and out all day long. Some of them are sitting there smoking weed. Some of them are dealing drugs. Some of them are running around on scooters on a summer night. Sometimes gangs of 12 kids come in, and they rip you off and shit like that. It's a ghetto 7-Eleven, right? So all these people, they would stand out here at about 3 a.m. and they would watch me throw the food away. And most of these people are starving to death or are close to it. And they look at you throw that food away, and they know what it is, and you know what it is, and it's a bad moral thing. And eventually it got so bad for me, and it was such a small thing, but eventually it got so bad for me that when I went to go dump the food, I was on the phone with my girlfriend, breaking up with her and shit like that. I'd be dumping the food, and I'd be like breaking up with my girlfriend at 3 a.m. and shit like that. Unhappy because I'm stuck at some dead-end job, throwing food away while people starve in the fucking streets and all this, doing things that I never would have morally done ever. And this is my 7-Eleven. This is where I worked, and yeah, like, that was too much for me. I quit my job, and ever since then, I haven't worked a job that I wasn't totally morally okay with, that I wasn't passionate about. Like, one of the reasons I did taxi for so long is as soon as the person is out of the car, you roll down the windows, you spin up that stereo, and suddenly you're cruising, right? You're not doing your job anymore. The minute that the customer is out of that car, you roll the windows down, you fire up a joint. You spin up the radio real loud, bump some hip hop and shit, and roll through the West Side at night, right? And so eventually I wasn't the 7-Eleven person anymore. I was the taxi driver pulling into the 7-Eleven, buying the gas from the 7-Eleven, buying the food from the 7-Eleven, being a customer, as opposed to working there. And I was a lot happier as a taxi driver than I was a 7-Eleven person, because the taxi driver also is a really bad job in the respect that you do put a lot of gasoline and a lot of pollution into that air, right? A lot of pollution. Like, for instance, taxi drivers don't turn their cars off their entire shift, and that's very, very bad for the environment.
I want to do something that I connect to.
Yeah, and I didn't connect to throwing 100 pounds of food away while the homeless were standing there watching me do it and hating me for it. I would say that's something that I just couldn't do. I didn't have the discipline. So I quit the job, and that's a shitty reason to quit a job, and it's a stupid, woke, left-wing liberal reason to fucking, to leave a job, but I mean, that's why I left the job.
Personal. And I like that, because that's helping people get in line with what I'm trying to teach.
Yeah, like if you're about the business, 7-Eleven jobs and restaurant jobs are something that you shouldn't really work. You should be doing something that you're passionate about.
There is purpose in work beyond a paycheck.
Yep.
And this younger generation does long for it.
Yeah, like the younger we get, the smarter we are, the more Google, and I mean, everybody says it's the idiocracy, but in my experience, it's actually the other way around. It was always the idiocracy, right? It was always the idiocracy. It's been like that since America started. It was always the idiocracy. Where we don't really understand it is there was always incredibly dumb, violent, stupid people that just plagued the world. That was always a problem. It's never not been like that. It's not a new thing or a modern thing to have like 1 in 5 people being illiterate. It's actually the best it's ever been. 1 in 5 Americans being illiterate is the best it's ever been, because it used to be like 1/3, 1/2, and now it's like 1/5. We're doing pretty good. Eventually it'd be 1/8, 1/16, So I really fundamentally believe that the internet and the Google and the schools actually are educating people a lot better than they used to be. We call it the idiocracy, but I actually think people are more intelligent per capita, like en masse, than we give them credit for. We're always calling them stupid and pieces of shit and stuff like that. But honestly, I think the internet made the entire human race a lot more intelligent, believe it or not. So I think the stupid people are an infection, and it's happening really bad. And there's, people are dumb, panicky animals and all this, and a person is smart, but people are dumb, right? But I mean, still, I don't know what it is I'm trying to say here. It's like a very like kind of gauche point, but it's like you should do what you love always, even at the age of 15.
In their work. And I think that is a good thing, except that if you make it all about, well, I'm only going to work for a company that is very open about their political views aligning with mine, that can get to a point where you never, it's like trying to find a perfect church. Good luck.
That church shopping can be brutal here in Nashville.
No, this guy doesn't church shop. The Christianity doesn't like his sexual orientation. This guy does not church shop. And he made a very funny gay joke right there. And this guy is too straight to understand. He's too straight to understand. And this guy actually secretly hates this guy. Because this guy is Metro and stealing this guy's image. And this guy is not Metro and is trying to steal this guy's image. And this guy hates this guy. This guy does not hate that guy because this guy's actually a nice guy. This guy's not a nice guy. And so he cut a really funny, impeccably timed gay joke right there.
This in work beyond a paycheck.
And so the right wing metrosexual straight man who is actually the target of everyone's joke, but as usual doesn't understand it, right? Mentions, oh man, when you're out there church hunting.
And this younger generation does long for a connection in their work. And I think that is a good thing, except that if you make it all about, well, I'm only going to work for a company that is very open about their political views aligning with mine, that can get to a point where you never, it's like trying to find a perfect church. Good luck.
That church.
Now watch, he immediately impeccably rips, and trust me, when they have the beer, all these anchors drink too much and cheat on their significant others and stuff. Later on tonight, this good newsman, this is a bad newsman, this is a good newsman. This newsman is gonna go home tonight and he's gonna have a drink with his boyfriend or girlfriend, whatever his case is, right? And he's gonna have a drink with his boyfriend or his girlfriend, and he's gonna troll this idiot, right? And he's gonna talk about how this guy talked about church hunting today, and I ripped him one right on camera.
Church shopping can be brutal.
That church shopping can be brutal. That's an impeccably timed gay joke. Because it's a gay joke because Christianity thinks, because of Leviticus, which is a Bible fucking quote, right? That the men who lay with men are against God, right? So church shopping isn't something that the gay community does too much. And so this guy, he couldn't laugh at the incredibly stuck up, incredibly oblivious boomer, right? He couldn't laugh at him. This guy, no. You can tell what this guy drinks right away. Rolling Rock. It's not craft beer. It's piss beer like Bush. No. Bush is far too non-metro, right? This guy's going for I mean, he's not metro. He might be metrosexual, but he's straight up. He's probably straight up gay, I would say. He looks too like they look like, whatever. So
Here in Nashville.
Yeah.
So he makes this beautifully timed. And this is something that gay people are very good at usually. They hit you with a well disguised, impeccably timed burn that you're not aware is a burn, and the boomer didn't pick up on it. I mean, the boomer did pick up on it. But he's used to it, right?
If you make it all about, well, I'm only going to work for a company that is very open about their political views.
Now, I like what he's saying.
Aligning with mine, that can get to a point.
But that thing he said is scary. He says their political views aligning with mine, right? We know that the right wing is the only party that actually has trouble getting along with anybody else. The Democrats don't. Even the Democrats get along with I would say, Democrats don't get along with Republicans, but they do with everyone else, I would say. So, but Republicans don't get along with anyone except the church. They don't get along with anyone. They don't get along with the government. They don't get along with Democrats. They don't get along with the blacks. They don't get along with the Hispanics. They don't get along with gay people. They don't get along with women. So this thing that this weird metrosexual right-wing guy is talking about.
Point where you never, it's like trying to find a perfect church.
It's like trying to find a perfect church. Now, this guy can't relate to that because the church believes that his sexual orientation is wrong. So church shopping isn't something this guy does. So he makes this impeccably timed, just beautiful rip right on camera, and he rips his co-host really bad, actually, pretty bad. And not only does the co-host pick up on it but doesn't understand it, but he also gets away with it, and he's going to brag about it to his gay friends at the gay bar later that night. I guarantee it. And this is the stuff that goes on in the background that the right-wing, upright, fucking stick-in-the-mud male who's got that stick so far up his ass, he's uptight, and he's talking about church shopping in 2023. Who the fuck is talking about church shopping in 2023? And so he's right to say it. He's like, yeah, watch out for that church shopping. Who the fuck church shops? And I mean,
church shopping can be brutal.
That church shopping can be brutal. Yeah, and I loved it. Give me just a second. It was bitchy and it was beautiful. Hello. Hey, welcome back. Yeah, sure. I'm not very hungry, but yeah, I'll eat. Oh, absolutely. So when would you like me to come? All right. I gotta shut down the stream and put on my shoes. I'm gonna need about 5. All right, love, bye. All right, guys, it is Labor Day. I must go be with my family, unfortunately. But let's finish the video, right? We'll do 5 more minutes while I get my shoes on and I get ready and all this.
You are a
So this guy, he discounts this as some kind of young person thing, but it's actually a gay person ripping on him for talking about church shopping on a fucking, like, on the Ramsey show.
Well, I think there's been a cultural shift. You see, my parents' generation, my grandparents' generation, it was survival. It was get an education so you can get a good, stable job, so you can get a pension. And things have shifted.
Yeah, I don't believe that's a straight man. No, I don't believe that's a straight man. He dresses too impeccably. I don't know. I don't have good gaydar, but I'm not gay, you know. But I would say that is not a straight man. I don't think straight men dress this well.
We are now in a society that wants to thrive. And so they're going, I actually want to enjoy the work I do because I saw my parents go to work for that paycheck.
I saw my parents be unhappy for, 40 years. And I was like, no, if I don't like a job, I'm leaving it.
And they hated that job.
They hated it.
And so they're going, oh, we don't have to do that? And so I like this mentality of, let me go find that thing. What I don't like is the anti-work group who are saying, I don't think we should have to work at all as a society. This is terrible. I love it when they go, this ain't it. Let me go figure out what is.
Now, the only risk here, and this is why we highlight this. So if you're a Gen Zer, parent of a Gen Zer, understand these people are just looking up. They're paying attention to the environment. And since the middle, or let's call it third quarter of 2020, when this thing called the Great Resignation happened, if you don't know what that is, don't worry about it. But we've had 4+ million people each month.
I don't like it when I don't like it when a news anchor says, if you don't know what that is, don't worry about it. I really don't like it when a news anchor says the one thing I don't want a news anchor to say, because the entire thing about being a news anchor is educating people about what happened that day. I don't want to hear a news anchor say, if you don't know what that is, don't worry about it.
For 18
I want to hear a sentence, a single, clear, conscript, well-scripted sentence describing what the Great Resignation is. Otherwise, you don't bring it up. And I know because I was an editor for so many years. I was like not a professional editor, but I did a lot of editing, and I'm a bit of an editor. And when I hear this idiot talk, I think bad script, bad writing, and bad premise.
Consecutive months. This is the latest job numbers out of November of 2022. Folks, that is a staggering amount of people that are quitting their jobs. So for those of you that are as old as me or older, you understand what musical chairs was. Fun game that George has no idea what it is. So that's what the job market looks like. And these young people are looking up and they're going, hey, I see my friend move over here and they got an 8% bump or a 12% bump or whatever. And so now it's just like, okay, now we're just going until the music stops. The question is, when does the music stop? And with
What are you
recession
talking
looming
about?
this year-
It is not musical chairs. It's I am unhappy doing a job that makes me unhappy. Musical chairs don't have anything to do with it. Your metaphor was bungling. I'm sorry, you bungled the metaphor. You're a bungler.
How bad it is, I don't know. I tend to be less alarmist.
Musical
I
chairs
don't
has
think it'll be
nothing
big.
to do with musical chairs is when someone else took your job and you can't take that job anymore and there's no more chairs left. It is a horrible metaphor for quitting your job because it makes you unhappy. It is they don't relate to each other. The guy's a hack. God damn it. I hate hacks. I'm anti-hack. I'm anti-hacker guy. I'm anti-hack. Like, you know what I'm saying? This guy's a fucking hack. And listening to him talk, and they pay this asshole like $200,000 a year to hack it up out there. He can't write, he can't read, and he can't speak.
But we'll see.
But we'll
And
see.
so the point here is that our money principles, what we teach.
I'm sorry, he can talk, and he can talk freely. He's good, but I don't think he's that good. Like, he's a good anchor. I actually think he's better than most, but I don't think he's a hack though. Why do we have a hack sitting in that chair? It's a $200,000 position. What the fuck? Get a real motherfucker.
That, hey, you know what? Sometimes it's okay to
Like, this guy's not a hack, you know.
because moving for a bigger paycheck may come back to bite you if it's an awful environment,
Gee, you think?
or you're actually not qualified to do the job, or they lied to you, and now all of a sudden you're in a situation where, I may have to make another move, and I'm putting my financial stability at risk. There's no reason for that. And so that's why budgeting and the baby steps can get you some more patience.
Oh yeah, having a
Some more
financial.
Okay, guys, I'm terribly sorry. I gotta go, or I will be rude. Gonna go be with my elderly family on Labor Day, and sorry. I am going to go be with my elderly family on Labor Day now. Just a reminder, skycat.live. I'm a full-time variety gamer. My website is skycat.live. I'm a full-time variety gamer all day, every day. Put me on in the background. I expect to be gone like an hour to 2 hours here, maybe 3 hours at the most. Should be back here. It is currently 3 o'clock on the West Coast, and thank you, Pie Guy, and thank you for the awesome comments, Pie Guy. By the way, sorry for the bailing out so early. You know, I was enjoying the EVE Online, but shit, I didn't even get through this level 4. I don't think. Oh wait, no, I did. I thought, oh wow, I got through a level 4 while I was AFK. That's awesome.
Drive active.
Yeah, warp drive active. So I'll be just another couple minutes here while I dock. So yeah, Skycat Live. I'm across Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, and Kick. I will be back here between 1 and 3 hours for the rest of the evening, at which point I will switch over to Starfield, pre-release very hard mode, and maybe EVE Online, but probably not. I don't think I'm going to EVE Online tonight. I'm just going to do Starfield. And then while I'm doing Starfield, I may play Final Fantasy XI later in the evening, but probably Starfield for about 5 hours and stuff. And then I don't know for sure, but on Monday nights, usually we do Baldur's Gate 3 campaign duo on tactician mode, which is the hardest difficulty. And my good co-op partner Begon is walking me through tactician because he's already beat the game. And so and he's carrying me through to my tactician achieve. So you will see, probably, don't quote me, but tonight around, I believe, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock PST, 10 o'clock latest, we will be doing some Baldur's Gate 3 tactician duo from 9 till 11 or 12 o'clock PST, something like that. And then past that, it will be Starfield until 6 in the morning. So if you guys like Starfield, if you like EVE Online, if you like Baldur's Gate 3, got all that good stuff. I got all that good stuff, guys. Just stick around. I'm sorry I have to leave right now, and I'm so sorry, but I don't normally cut off my days. I usually do 14-hour days unless it's a holiday, and it is kind of a holiday. So I'm going to turn in this level 4 before I leave. Complete mission. There's another 1,003,000 LP. Not bad. And we will close the EVE Online. Well, I'll just leave it on. What do I care? And yep. And thank you so much for your time, guys. I love you. Peace. I'll be back here in 1 to 2 hours. Peace. Oh, and thank you, Hop. Always